we haven't got taken care of yet on the generator.
On the generator itself, okay.
Yeah, besides that, there's nothing.
Does it need a new muffler now? or-
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Have you gotten quotes on that for the new
I did
muffler?
get a quote from Kinsley. I think it was around I want to say $1,800, was it? It was quite a bit of money. And I had Joe Lewandowski look into doing it, but you have to get the thing from Kinsley or another dealer.
Okay.
So it's still going to be.
Do we know what the part itself costs?
I can't. I think it was somewhere around $1,800. I think. I know it was up there.
It's expensive. I don't know if that was labor and the part was very expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, is that it for that?
Yeah.
For the sewer? How about water? Do you have any updates on that?
As far as what?
Water board, anything happening of interest? Just
Just that we're working on applying for a grant next week. We want to submit a grant application for the hire CTML to create the grant for
Okay,
us.
for the water tower.
For the water tower,
storage tank.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, code enforcement. Joe, I think you've got a few things.
Yeah,
Go ahead and take it away.
I put a request in for 2011 code books. Just wanted to find out what the status of that is.
We have a cost on that. We didn't have the last meeting we had.
I haven't priced them or anything. I put it in my request that.
I did look it up. The 2011's code books are not out yet. I just looked it up like an hour ago maybe.
Okay.
And 2010 is, but I think maybe
Well,
there was a request or an
2010.
idea that possibly we might purchase the electronic version as well in the future, and then it's cheaper to update, and then you
Right.
have a copy of that to take home or do whatever, and I don't think that was addressed. So,
We didn't have any numbers on what the cost was going to be. Availability of electronics, not much to address.
well, if we get the cost for the next meeting and it's $400 or $500 to get CDs, you know, obviously I think that's,
I don't think it's a problem. It's just a matter of we spend money unless we know we're spending.
oh, I agree. Okay, and anything else, Joe?
So is that a yes, that we'll be getting them?
We need to know what the cost is. For $400 or $500, I don't think that's an
Okay,
issue.
who's gonna check into the cost?
Right. We need to know the cost. We can't prove it unless we know what the cost is.
Right, who's gonna check into the cost?
The mayor said he was going to check into the cost.
I
Okay,
could check into the cost of the CDs.
okay,
That's
thank
not a
you.
problem.
Mobile home renewal application, I'm waiting to hear back on that. I guess Maureen referred it to the board.
There's, we got something on that. Evidently, there has never been a mobile home renewal application per se, what's in the law, so that has to be created.
So we have village law here that we're not even following ourselves then.
Evidently, there's some inconsistencies there, but we can straighten that out.
Okay. Another question on that. How many years have went by, and I'm just finding this now, why hasn't anybody else found it?
That's a rhetorical question, I'm assuming.
So I assume you're just minimizing it then?
I'm not minimizing it. Am I supposed to be aware of it? Is it a code enforcement issue? It's a code
No,
enforcement
it's,
issue.
it's an in-house issue.
It's a code
It's a
enforcement
village,
issue.
it's a village law, and we're not following our own
And
policies.
Code enforcement, it's a code enforcement issue.
No, it's an in-house
And-
issue.
The code enforcement issues are, and the enforcement of the laws falls to the executive position.
Would you like me to read it to you?
I read it. But it falls to the executive position of the village to enforce the laws.
And we're saying that law's never been enforced.
Evidently, that's what so now we correct it.
But it's an internal office issue.
No, it's a code enforcement and laws enforcement of the village falls to the executive position of the village. Period, which is the mayor's position. So if there's an issue there, then it should have been addressed to the mayor's position, and that's being corrected.
Well, I addressed it to the clerk,
So we need to correct it.
which, that's where it was supposed to come from.
Who are you saying?
And she
should make up
referred
the
it to
form?
you.
Well, the form can be made up by anybody. It's just a matter of getting a form made. How difficult as that.
The-
It says on the form it has to be what, in the law, it has to be on the form, so we
Right.
just create a
And
form.
it's been referred to you.
This goes to there, so we'll make a form and we'll move on.
Okay, so the form will be made then.
We'll make a form.
How long do you think it'll take? Because I'm at a standstill with that before I get that form. I can't do anything up there till I get that form.
Not just go make a form. Want me to make a form? I'll make a form. It's not that hard.
Okay.
You wanna make the form?
I'll make a form, my gosh. You have a computer, you can make a form too, Joe, if you want to.
You wanna make the form,
I'm just
Joe?
trying to get the tools that I need.
I understand it, but I'll make a form. Move on. But it's still, again, I don't like the accusatory tone, but just so you remember, that the rules and laws are supposed to be enforced with the executive position, so this should have been addressed to the mayor, and if there was an inconsistency in the enforcement of the laws, it should have been dealt with.
Well, where I need to go looking for that form would be to the clerk. That's what the state said.
The form didn't exist.
And it didn't exist, and she referred it to you.
So we'll make a form.
And you're referring it back to me.
No, I'm just explaining the situation, and we will straighten it out.
Okay,
I just said it before.
okay. I'd just like to get it done so I can
By the other
do,
week, it's not a difficult thing.
thank you. I just want to get it done so I can do what I have to do.
You'll have it.
And I requested it back on the 31st of December. And we're at the end of January.
Is Dave the only one who is requesting it right now, Dave Shervin?
Yes.
Did the other mobile home park renew yet? I'm not sure.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Because Dave did call me the other day, and I know he wants to know what's going on, but I told him to talk to you, so. Is there anything else, Joe, or?
Yes, in regards to getting access to the office, can I get a key to get to the office?
We need to have a workaround on that, because we are responsible for the records of that office. Right, and I think we can all we can figure out how to make this work. I understand you may need to get those records. Unfortunately, we don't have a way of securing that office so that the records are in one section of it. Right, there is a workaround, get hold of the mayor, let you in, or whatever. That's a workaround right now. But there's records that are all over that office. The geographic setup of that office doesn't allow for a section to be secured, and we are responsible to secure that. So if you have some suggestions on how we can make that work, I'm more than happy to entertain them.
I don't understand. I'm the only one that doesn't seem to have a key to get to my desk.
That's the only one that doesn't have a key. Planning board doesn't have a key.
You don't have a key?
I have a key. Planning board doesn't have a key.
Do you have a desk in there?
No,
Well, why would you need a key? And I have a desk and I don't need a key?
it's not necessarily your desk.
Well, I have to work there.
Bottom line is, we have a responsibility to secure those records. So we have to have some control over who has access to them.
Okay.
Do you have a suggestion other than have a free reign of the whole office on how we can make this work?
Well, seeing that you created it, you need to figure it out so I can do my job.
Did you have access, or did code enforcement didn't have access to the office prior to you taking that position?
I beg to differ with you.
Lynn didn't have access to that office after hours? You didn't have a key to that office? didn't
Why
have
do
a
you
code
need
security.
access to the office then?
Lynn did not have access to the office, but I'm not 100% sure, but I would go back to the January 10th meeting and ask why did Mark ask the question, Mark Dennison asked the question in regards to why the CEO can't have access to the office.
Mark
And
didn't
I
ask that
think,
question that way. Mark asked the question, how are you going to deal with the CEO? And I said, we have to come up with a solution for that. I totally agree with you. But right now, I don't know, rather than rearranging all the furniture in there, how we're going to make that happen and comply with our responsibilities for records protection.
Well, you need to do something because the way you
I'm
currently
open to
have it,
suggestion. Do you have a suggestion on a solution?
give me a key so I can do
That's
my
not a
job.
secret-
I don't
that's
care
not a
what's in the
what I would
office.
suggest is putting a second keypad in and he used my office.
There you go.
That's,
That's additional cost though that we don't really have.
It's a possibility. What does it cost?
Well,
The office is open 9 to 5.
We're open at 9 to 5.
I
I'll
don't,
work around to be here during regular business hours.
I don't think that's acceptable.
Can you be here during regular business hours? No. So is that a fair question to me?
It was a question.
But was it a fair question?
Well, you determine that.
Well, you knew the answer to that
Don't-
question.
I'm not playing. You have a good workaround solution or not. If you can't do the job, then don't do it. Right? That's simple.
That's the,
We have,
that's
we
your
have,
answer.
no, we have
I'm
issues
very,
with
let me
records.
tell you something, Pat, I'm very capable of doing the job.
I didn't say you weren't. What I'm saying is you're not being anywhere malleable at all to the problems that have happened in that office of records moving out of there without anybody knowing, and people coming and going as they please. That's something that's our responsibility to mitigate
So
and
let me
make sure it doesn't happen again.
Let me ask you a question, Pat.
Hmm?
How many other people that did have access, don't have access besides me?
Patricia Pierce, one other.
Well, Patricia Pierce doesn't work in that office.
Then why did she have access to begin with?
Why do you have access?
Because
I think
I'm an
she's
official
on,
of-
I don't know the reasoning behind why she had access.
Well, you asked the question, I answered. Although, let's come up with a solution. If there's a way we can secure the records area of that office and not give access to other things, more than happy to look at it.
Well, I'm asking you, why am I the only one being singled out, not having a key to get in there to work at my desk?
Why is it? Because.
Because?
That's what it is. I came in here and you and Patricia Pierce sitting in that office on a Thursday night.
With good reason.
I don't care what the reason was.
With good reason.
I don't care what the reason was. It was never brought here that anybody else had access other than the 6 people that had access prior to it. It was never brought to this board, nothing was there, people coming and going.
The only place Patricia Pierce was in that office was in the mayor's office, on there going through them blueprints for the
I
mill.
don't care what the
To make
reason
sure
was
that's
or what
what
you
the
say the
planning
reason was.
board-
My point is, we are responsible for who comes and goes in that office and then the record retention, and we're gonna take it seriously, and if we have a good workaround, more than happy to hear a solution that will solve both problems. If we
So-
don't have one, then we'll think of one.
You're saying the reason that I don't have access now is because Patricia Pierce was in there reviewing blueprints with me?
I'm saying that we didn't have control over who had access to that office. We had 10 keys, we didn't know where they were. Access codes, didn't know who had them.
Okay,
And it's our
okay,
responsibility
change the keys, give the appropriate people the keys that need to be there.
to change the keys, and this is what we felt was appropriate until we can work with it.
So it's not appropriate for me to be in there working.
Not right now.
You know, you're ridiculous.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, then I will issue him a key, and I will
You're
issue
not
him
authorized
codes
to do
again.
so.
Yeah, well, guess what?
You're not-
Try it. The access codes will appear.
Come up with a good compromise solution that
I
satisfies
will-
both parts
I
of the
will
issue.
issue Noah
And we're
key.
more than happy to listen
Pat,
to it.
you
But until
created
that
the
happens, I'm not
problem.
going
You're
to.
obviously not willing to accept
I didn't
any.
create the problem. What created the problem was handing out keys and giving access to people without any authorization at all. That created the problem.
The extra
What created the
keys were in
problem was
that
the records
box.
that left the office that should
They were
never
not
leave
in
the
the
office.
box.
That
They are in
created
the
problem.
box. Maureen, don't sit and argue with me.
You know,
You're not
Jim,
in
they
the
might be
position.
there now because
Do
you're
not-
saying it to
do
cover
not
yourself.
sit and
I
argue
checked
with
that
me.
box several times.
Maureen, please close your mouth.
No, don't tell me what to do.
please.
Do not tell me what to do, Jim.
Please be quiet.
Bottom line.
Yes,
sounds
this
like
is
you're
a
being
village
subordinate
meeting.
to me.
I'm the mayor and you're the clerk,
What does that
supposedly.
mean?
You
What
know?
does that mean? What does that mean
I think
to
we,
you,
I
Jim?
think, I
I'm not
think we've
sure.
had
I'm
about
confused.
enough. I think I've had about enough.
No,
There was a good compromise.
there's no extra keys in that box. I'm just
I agree
saying.
to the situation.
Go home,
You're
Roger.
preventing me from
You
doing
don't want
my
victory,
job.
you go home.
Okay?
Please, do the world a
That's what you're
favor,
doing.
go away.
Roger, please be
No
quiet.
solution.
No, you're, I'm watching,
Roger, please be quiet.
I'm
Please be
watching you
quiet.
attack a person for no
Please be
reason.
quiet. You
Other
don't
than
get-
you're a
don't-
childish
Do not
person.
get into an argument with me here
Why?
about
What are
something
you
you
gonna
know
do?
nothing about.